Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Cup of Joe. This is going to be a good one. It's packed with a lot of helpful information. All of this stuff is stuff that I've either struggled with or gone through or something of that nature. So I feel like, God really puts in my spirit to share, to possibly help somebody else out. Cup of Joe is an espresso shot of helpful information. And just a good way to get your day started. I'm starting a little bit late today, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and get into it. My name is Joe Anthony Whitehead, and I am Cup of Joe. Welcome. Today on Cup of Joe, we're going to be talking about you are not excused. So stop making excuses for your actions. The word action is a noun that means the fact or process of doing something, typically to achieve an aim or a target. That means that an action is factual and does not require an excuse. You did what you did. The excuse that you use to soften or cover up the burn does not excuse you from the fact. I spent the majority of my life trying to live up to everyone else's vision of what my life was supposed to look like. With my parents being pastors and all, tons of pressure, might I add. But the added pressure, with the added pressure, I developed the habit of excuse in an effort to cover up my true identity at a very early age. I call it masking. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always considered myself to be an overall great person. However, great does not mean perfection. It does not mean perfect. No matter where you are in life or what you've done, there is always a chance, a way, a moment to turn your life around. Excuse yourself from what other people or the world tells you you ought to be and begin to look for factual answers through prayer and fasting. I heard a pastor, I used to go to his church in Chicago. His name is Wilfredo de Jesus. We call him Pastor Choco. But he said something on the lines of, if you're looking for wisdom or real answers, it is a requirement that you read the Bible. Praying is you speaking to God. However, reading the Bible is God speaking to you. And to me, that really spoke to me because I hear so many people, and myself included, I'm like, God, I'm just not getting the answers. I'm just not getting the answers. I've been praying and praying and praying and praying. Now, granted, I spend a lot of time in my Bible, but praying alone is not going to get you your answer. Or, let me reword that. Praying alone you may not hear God's voice, but when you get in your Bible, God will begin to speak to you through the parables and the books of the Bible. Because there is not a situation that happens today that hasn't already happened. The core of it anyway. Some of the little small things may be tweaked a little bit, but that's about it. Challenge yourselves. I always do a challenge every time I do Cup of Joe. I always, try to push a challenge out there. Challenge yourselves for 1 week to read the Bible every day. That's 7 days. If only just for a moment. Even if it's just one verse. Luke 14:18 through 20. I'm going to read that right quick because it talks about excuses. It says, but they all alike began to make excuses. The first said to him, I have bought a field and I must go out and see it. Please have me excused. Now this is when an invitation had gone out to invite people to a big supper, and it was supposed to be an effort to invite people to come and eat on the Sabbath. And Jesus was explaining why he could eat and preach and do all this stuff on the Sabbath. You all check Luke 14 out. But it says, please have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen and I go to examine them. Please have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife and therefore I cannot come. Now, all of these are excuses I would like to think that at this very moment that Jesus felt just like I feel when a commitment has been made to me, like in my life, and the person on the other end is exemplifying the same gum smacking that I did for so many years. Even though I would still mask my flaws, I always had this saying, excuses sound best to the one that's telling them. And it's the truth. We get so used to making excuses that it becomes normal. You know, the whole, I didn't go to church because of the kids. I couldn't make it to see you on such a important day, even though you're very important to me in my life and you mean so much to me because of X, Y, Z, whatever the excuse is. You know, people are watching and they aren't stupid. You can always tell when somebody is giving you an excuse because it sounds like a runaround conversation. Embrace the truth, people. Because when you do, it helps you grow out of bad habits and into good ones. Just confess. Say, I didn't make it to church because I was being lazy, or I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to get help this week, or be held accountable, or have somebody all in my business, or get a good word, or I couldn't make it to the event because I made poor financial decisions and now I'm financially in a bind. Making excuses sound good to you, but really do a lot of damage on both sides, both to yourself and the other party. However, embracing the truth and learning from it comes with growth and grace. To me, Adam still has the most ridiculous excuse of all times. I'm sure that there are some others that are super like crazy, but at the core, this is this is the core of many excuses, most excuses, I would like to say. You know the old, I did because you did. I did this because you did that. And many relationships suffer from this particular excuse alone. Genesis 3:12 is what I'm talking about as far as Adam. He says, or it reads, the man said, they're talking about Adam, the woman who you gave me to be with, she gave me fruit of the tree and I ate. What Adam should have said at this time, and what he should have said and done, considering all things eaten, is, you know, I know that we were not permitted to eat from this tree, but my curiosity got the best of me, and the fruit looked and smelled so good that I gave in to my fleshly desires. Lord, please forgive me. That one little line there, it says so much, because telling the truth and being held accountable for it, it's an easy, hard task. And for those that don't know what an easy, hard task is, it's easy to confess the truth, just as easy as it is to tell a lie. But it's also hard to tell the truth depending on what that truth is, because you have people that you love and you don't want to hurt them, and you also don't want to look like a complete just piece of trash. But we're human and we make mistakes. You know, confessing your mistake actually helps you and it helps the other person. It gives that person a chance to operate in God's forgiveness. You know, where was I? It's such an easy, hard task to take on many times. But speaking of fruit, telling the truth, repenting or asking for forgiveness, confessing to God that you need Him, and learning from your mistakes is the best thing that you can do for yourself and the other party. So the next time you find yourself in a battle between truth or excuse, just remember that no matter how you word it, the truth is the truth. You are not excused. Thank you all for joining Cup of Joe today. I love each and every one of you all. I hope that you make the right decision. I hope that I make the right decisions. I hope that I always tell the truth. And I wish the same thing for you. Please hashtag Cup of Joe supporter and share these videos. It has been my pleasure. Once again, my name is Joe Anthony Whitehead, and this has been episode 24. You are not excused of Cup of Joe. Have a great day.